Hi, welcome to Thursday Training with Janine and Ian. Now, just to give you a little bit of history, back in the day, probably around April of 2020, I started doing Saturday trainings, and I used to teach people how to send cards on Saturday. And it all started because way back when I first became a member of Send Out Cards, now greener still, Ian Kingwill is my upline. And the only time I had available was to send cards from 8 a.m. to noon on Saturdays. And that's why it started off as Saturday training. So there is some confusion about why are we doing Saturday trainings on Thursday? And the answer is, well, my kids are all now in college and now I'm sending cards every single day. But anyway, so there's a little bit of the history there regarding that. Because I only had 4 hours on Saturday, I came up with a system that was called the 4-hour-a-week system. And I ended up writing a book on this because so many of my Send Out Card and MLM clients and customers and students all wanted to learn how do I thrive as a solopreneur. And I ended up writing the book, The Thriving Solopreneur, but it's all based on what I used to teach all the folks that were in my worldview that were part of MLMs. So it doesn't matter whether it's Send Out Cards, Greener Still, Arbonne, Mary Kay. I trained all MLM users on this 4-hour-week system so they could thrive in their business. So we're going to talk about the difference between working on your business versus working in your business. This is the 4-hour-a-week connection that I worked with, and that is you spend 1 hour a week doing nothing but prospecting, 1 hour a week doing nothing but follow-up, 1 hour a week. It used to be called closing in the 80s and 90s. I like to call it connection. And that's an hour a week where I am on social media, chatting it up with people, finding out what's going on with them, asking them for their addresses. And then 1 hour a week you spend training yourself. You can learn all about this on my personal website, JanineBolon.com, where you can get a free copy of my book. All I ask you to do is pay for shipping. So you can get all that from there. So because we now call it connecting, that's usually an hour a week for social media. Now, what is the difference between working on your business and working in your business? Working on your business is when you're building it, connecting with people, making phone calls, getting addresses. Working in your Send Out Card business is, oh, guess what? You're sending cards. That's what we do. This is the work, right? Our job is put the smile on people's faces by having people send cards. So just a second. Okay. So one of the things I'd like you to do is get out a calendar, and it doesn't matter what it looks like or how you operate with it, and actually record a date and time when you are going to send cards. I recommend that you get in the habit of doing it Monday through Friday. If you are unable to do that, say you have a full-time job as well as a part-time job, and you have Send Out Cards on the side, then figure out when on the weekend you are consistently going to send cards for 2 to 3 hours at a time on a Sunday or Saturday type of thing. But if you send Monday through Friday, you can just block out an hour of time where you are doing nothing but sending cards. I highly recommend that for yourself, okay? Now I have this thing here called singing. Well, that is because part of my morning routine is that I sing happy birthday. So I spend an hour sending cards, and then I get on Facebook and I find out whose birthdays are happening and I sing happy birthday to them. And I learned this from my upline, Ian Kingwill. He actually said, hey, Janine, have you seen this neat thing on LinkedIn where you can send an audio message? And so when I started learning about that, and this is back, remember, in the dark ages of 2018, when Ian was teaching me all this stuff. And so I started singing happy birthday to people, and I'd say, hey, I want to send you a birthday card and wish you happy birthday, but I don't have your address. And I'm going to show you some of those aspects. When I was teaching on Saturdays, I would spend an hour prepping slides on Saturday, and then I would spend an hour training my downline. Now, this is a picture of me as I was getting ready to do some training. I just took a screenshot, and these were the cards that I would send. Oh, hang on, my slide deck is having fun. These are the cards I would send, and I would say, hey, cheers to you. Schedule a call with me. I had a big old button there. I look forward to chatting with you. And I had so many people call back to me or text me on Facebook or LinkedIn. They were like, Janine, I pressed the button and nothing happened. I mean, seriously, I got more traction from this silly little card that I sent out to everybody. Why? Because I'm usually in a pretty serious business. I'm known as a financial first responder. I help teach people about debt-free living. And so send out cards is a lot of fun. It's where I can let my hair down and kind of show my quirky personality and the fun things I like to do. So before you get too intense about your send out card business, just start with the people you already know. So when I first started in April of 2020, I went to Facebook, LinkedIn, and my phone. So that's what I mean by my contacts. I went to my phone. These were the numbers that I had when I first started. Well, I also had as a 289 people in my address book for send out cards. Okay. By June, I had 366 people that I was sending cards to. And then by August of that year, I had 423 just by using the 4-hour-a-week system that we talked about. We are now 18 months out from that time. I'm now up to 722 people. So this 4-hour-a-week system that I use, I just use the send out card business of mine to show how it works. And I have a wonderful metric here of as long as I am consistently adding addresses to my address book in send out cards, I know that that 4-hour-a-week system is working. So just to kind of let you know, over the last 18 months, I have made 225 new Facebook friends. I've made 441 people have given me their cell phone numbers and 253 new connections on LinkedIn. This is all organic because send out cards is not my primary business. Send out cards is what I use to follow up with my primary business. So I just wanted to let you know that. I think to myself, my gosh, how much I could grow my send out card business if I did it full time, but I don't have that kind of time. I spend 5 hours a week sending cards. And then I spend an hour a week doing training. And that takes about, so you can say I send cards, I probably spend 10 hours a week doing send out cards. And this is the kind of growth you can get by just spending 10 hours a week doing it. At the time in April of 2020, Alignable had just come out. And so I wanted to let you know some of the data that I had with that. I originally got 120 contacts. I had 5 testimonials. I got 13 referrals from that. I would ask people for their addresses and to chat with me. I would talk to them during their birthdays with Alignable. But one of the things I wanted to let you know is over the course of 3 or 4 months, we found that Alignable was not a positive, it did not give us the growth that we were hoping for. And so I ended up dropping Alignable off my social media, and I focus on Facebook, LinkedIn, and my personal contacts. So those are what I focus on. But it's important that you establish your calendar, that you set specific times and appointments with yourself to send cards. And right here, this is a shot of my calendar back here in August of 2020, where I had the send out card power hour. And if you're listening to this video, I wanted to let you know, I will send you a link. It's a different Zoom link from the trainings. I did that on purpose. If you want to send cards with me, I do it every morning, Monday through Friday from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. For my West Coast people, yep, I do have them. They're up at 5:30 in the morning sending cards with me on Zoom. It's just a nice appointment to have. And here you can see where I have the sing happy birthday on Facebook down there. So I have my schedule and I stick to my schedule. The biggest thing is people forget to ask for addresses. It's very simple. Just ask people for their address. Hey, I want to send you a card. I want to send you a thank you note. I'd like to send you a surprise in the mail. What's your mailing address? People are more than happy to let you know. Now, there may be some changes you need to do with your particular send out card business, and that is, please remember the ages of the people you're working with. Not everybody remembers dialing a phone in this way. Most people under the age of 50 do not remember dialing a telephone in this way. They only remember pushing buttons. So if somebody is age 55 or over, it's pretty okay to give them a buzz, to call them. But basically, people ages 20 to 49, you need to text them first to see if they're available. They actually consider it rude for you to be calling them without texting them first. It's considered an invasion. But if you're in doubt, get on Facebook Messenger or LinkedIn Messenger and ask them, hey, what's your availability? I'd like to call you on the phone, and set up a time. It's become more and more prolific since 2020 to have calendar links where people will have a link so you can book and call them. So kind of keep in mind there is that generational gap when it comes to calling, texting, and messaging somebody. the biggest thing is, hey, we are at the end of October. Now is the time, if you have not already started doing this, to take your address book that you may have that's a paper product and start moving your addresses over into your send out card or greener still system, because we need to get you ready to send. We're about ready to hit the big crush for the holidays. So if you haven't done it already, get every address that you have into your send out card system. Make sure that you have downloaded the Send Out Card app, not only onto your phone, but any tablet or laptop that you may have. And your desktop works really great, but you want to make sure that no matter where you are, if you think about sending a card, you can do it no matter what device happens to be in your hand. Also, make sure that your address is correct, and we'll talk about this. You click on your account again, and then make sure that return address is correct, because you want to know when people have moved. And this gives you a second point of contact where you can actually say, hey, I got your card back in the mail. What did I do wrong? It's amazing how quick people will respond on Facebook Messenger or LinkedIn to, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So what I do is I actually take a picture of the envelope to show them, hey, I sent this to you and I got it back. And they are more than happy to say, oh my gosh, yes, I'll be glad to help you out. So just make sure, since you have invested in sending cards, that you are sending cards every day, Monday through Friday, or you have set a time on the weekend where you send cards for multiple hours. How many addresses do you currently have in your send out card system? This is me asking you. I would be happy to start holding you accountable if you wanted to send me an email with the number of addresses you have. And then every week I will be happy to say, so Brenda, you said last week you had 225 addresses. How many do you have this week? I'll be glad to call you out and keep you accountable. It's up to you, however you want to do that. Also, the Send In Cards Power Hour. I already talked to you about this real quick. I just wanted to let you know, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 7:30 on Mountain Time, I will be on Zoom. I will be sending that link out at the bottom of this video. Thanks so much for listening for this quick training here. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording and open it up for questions.